Good morning, Suffolk Middle School. Mr. Y here, obviously. I need to talk today just a little bit about classroom expectations in the virtual learning world. In this new COVID era, of course, we've got some slightly different things that are going on in terms of teaching and in terms of learning. And to make the most of our time together, there are 4 rules, just like we had 4 rules last year in band. They're slightly modified this year, of course. But they are still just the same 4 rules. 6th graders, for you guys, these are your introductions to this, but 7th and 8th graders, most of these should be fairly familiar to guys. Number 1 rule, be on time. When your class starts, I expect you to be at your computer with all your material, whether it be your book or your pencil or your metronome or your tuner, and obviously, of course, your instrument. Your instrument should be ready to go. It should be assembled. It should be warmed up. You shouldn't just be getting onto your instrument when we first get there. I do give you guys the traditional 3 extra minutes at the beginning of the period. The one kind of exception to that, I guess, is the first period. First period, we will start right at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll do the pledge at 8 o'clock, and we'll do any announcements we have to do and that kind of thing. Usually then, though, I'll give you a couple of minutes after that to warm up your instruments just a little bit before we really do get going. For the rest of you guys, like for instance, 3rd period band starts officially at 9:54. I give you guys till 9:57 because I know you have to come out from your last class, you have to assemble your instrument, you have to warm up. But at the end of that 3 extra minutes, I do expect you to be there and ready to go. If you are not, you will be counted, late. And of course, the consequences that go with late and all that kind of stuff too, as far as classroom participation for me and your grade, and also the consequences of being late in terms of the school, in terms of discipline, at the school kind of level. So just be careful about that. Make sure you're on time. If you're not quite sure exactly what time your class starts, you can check with me. You can check on the card that I put up at the beginning of our Google Meet too. That says the exact time that you're supposed to be here. The Google time I'm putting up, by the way, is the official school time. I will give you 3 minutes beyond that. Okay, just to let you know. So number 1, be on time. Number 2, be prepared. Have all your stuff. Be ready to go. Have your instrument warmed up. Have any books you need. Have any pencils. Have any, like I said, metronomes, all that kind of stuff. Anything you need material-wise, you need to have there. Also, though, number 2 encompasses have practiced anything you were supposed to do for that day. So if I signed you number 47 in the EE book, have that one ready to go. That's not something you can do right then, of course. That's something you have to do in the practice time before that. But that's also under be prepared, of course. So number 1, be on time. Number 2, be prepared. Number 3, be quiet. This is actually a lot easier in the virtual world than it is in the classroom. I know in the classroom you want to talk to your friends, you want to play your instrument, that kind of stuff. In the virtual world, of course, it's as easy as clicking that mute button, which is nice. You should stay muted most of the time. Your microphone should stay off most of the time. There will be times when I ask you to turn it on so I can talk to you or so that you can play your instrument at me and so that we can hear that, of course. But most of the time, it should be just off. If I do call on you and engage in a conversation with you, you can just click on it and leave it on for the time being until we're done. You don't have to keep clicking it on and off to talk to me and all that kind of stuff. But please do make sure that most of the time it's off. Your camera, on the other hand, should most of the time be on, especially at the beginning of class when you're checking in and I'm taking attendance. I want to make sure you're actually physically there. This also relates to rule number 4. So let me get on with rule number 4. Number 4 is a little bit different this year, okay? Number 4 last year was clean up your stuff. You don't need to worry about cleaning up your stuff this year, at least as far as I'm concerned, because your stuff is in your house. You can treat your house the way you want to treat your house. It's not my house like it is when you're in my band room. Number 4 now is be attentive. Okay, and if you don't know what attentive is, it basically means pay attention. Okay, if I am talking, if I'm lecturing at you guys, if I'm explaining some kind of musical concept, I do expect you to be paying attention. This is even more true when I do give you practice time on your own, and there will be times this year when I do that. Some days I'll be coming into class and explaining something. We'll be working as a class together on something for, say, the first 20 minutes. And then I might say, okay, guys, I want you to take this and practice it for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to work with this little group. I might work with the drummers or the clarinet players or the saxophone players or something like that. The rest of you guys, take this time right now to practice. This will be extra bonus practice time. This practice time, by the way, does not count on your practice time for the week, your 120 minutes for the week, okay? During class practice is not practice on your own, okay? But if I do give you practice time, I do expect you to be practicing. That's not Xbox time. It's not play with your puppy time. It's practice time. And if I do kind of randomly call out and say, so-and-so, check in with me, I'm going to want you to turn your camera on again and show me that you are, in fact, practicing, and then you're not just goofing off, okay? This is school. And 50% of your grade, remember, is class participation. So you really do need to be, attending. I can't just give you that grade for nothing. You have to earn it, okay? And the way you earn it is simple. You just pay attention to what's going on, and when I ask you to do something, you do it. It's not that hard, really. I'm not going to ask you to climb Mount Everest. I'm going to ask you simple things, okay? And if you can't do those simple things, it kind of indicates to me that maybe you're not ready to pass on to the next level of band. You know, I don't want to do that big F thing, but I will do it if I have to, if I think you're not ready for it. Okay, so number 1, be on time. Number 2, be prepared. Number 3, be quiet. That's easy. Number 4, be attentive. Remember also, though, I forgot to mention this. If you're not attending, if I give you practice time and it turns out you're playing the Xbox. By the way, if you have to get up to go to the bathroom or get a drink or something like that, and I tune into you and you're not there, and you come back and say, "Hi, Mr. Y, I'm sorry, I had to go to the bathroom." That's okay. I understand that. Okay, I'm not saying you should staple yourself to your chair and just play all the time. But if that happens like more than once or a lot, it's going to start to create a pattern for you, and then I'm going to be checking in more often, and that's when it kind of has to become not just my issue but also a big school issue, because if you're skipping attending to class even in your own house, you're skipping class. That's the way it works. Okay, teachers expect you to be paying attention, and I'm one of them, so it's really not all that hard to figure out, actually. If you do have any questions, of course, my email, you guys know I'm pretty good at the email thing. Shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to answer any questions about classroom expectations this year. Like I said, just remember, 50% of your grade is classroom expectations. It's basically paying attention and doing what you're supposed to be doing while we're in class. Okay? So it is a fairly important thing this year. Okay? Good luck. Thanks.